Hi guys, welcome back to another snapshot video. Today we're going to talk about all the changes to Redstone we saw in this snapshot, the biggest changes in years, and we'll also take a look at a couple of bug fixes. Let's check out all the changes real quick. First one was quite a shocker to me. The good old Redstone dot got removed and replaced again by the Redstone Cross, like in the early versions of the game. So if you place down Redstone dust, you get the cross again. The cross similar to one piece connected to 4 other redstone dust on the side, same texture, and yeah, definitely will take some time to get used to that again. Right, the behavior of the redstone dot or cross didn't get changed, so if you power it, for example, here from above, it will power the redstone lamps on all 4 sides. So this is identical, it's just an optical change. There are actually a couple of changes to redstone behavior as well, apart from this optical change. We'll talk about this later. First, let's talk about the new functionality of the target block. If I may say so, a really welcome change. So what's new about the target block is that it can be powered now, and additionally, a nearby redstone line would also power the block itself. So if you would power this line now, the redstone dust visually connects to the target block, and for example, a redstone lamp or a piston here in the back would also get powered. It's obviously quite different from a normal block. If you just run the line next to it, then of course the lamp here doesn't get powered. So it can redirect the line into the block. This, by the way, also works for other examples. So we could also use the trap chest. This is also a block that redirects redstone dust. Another example would be the observer or the rail, the detector rail. As you can see here, this glass block itself, of course, doesn't power the piston, but if you redirect the redstone dust using, for example, a target block or the trap chest, etc., the piston does get powered since it points into it and it's getting powered by QC. Here we can see another example, a glass or slab redstone dust tower, of course, didn't power blocks on the side. So the lamps here on this side, of course, don't get powered, but by redirecting the redstone dust, those lamps can be powered. So you could do also something similar using observers, of course. Let's try that out as well. So now, actually, we need to place it the other way. Now the redstone dust also points into this direction, and then a piston would get powered by it. Now let's talk about changes to an existing redstone dust behavior. So a redstone line like this one here will power a piston in this position now, or a fence gate, or anything else that doesn't cut the line. Of course, redstone lamp still cuts the line and it doesn't get powered. It's actually interesting. It gets zero ticked real quick. Just discovered it. Okay. Anyway, so the piston does get powered now. This wasn't the case before. And I think the change was made in order to make it more intuitive. Because, of course, on the other side, the piston was powered before because the redstone line is pointing into it. But on this side, it wasn't powered before. But, well, could be a bit confusing since the wire or the line is also pointing this way. So basically, this was the example, the perfect showcase example. Previously, if you powered the redstone line from on top, power the pistons, but not if you did the same with the redstone single strength coming from below. Now it does it both ways. Let's check out the next example. Here we have single strength 1, and we redirect that line using another piece of redstone dust. Previously, the power below that piece of redstone dust wasn't powered, and the lamps weren't turned on. And now, this also got changed, since the idea is, again, the redstone line is pointing this way, and that's why the block in front is getting powered. So the block itself is getting powered. I can also show it. For example, this piston here is also getting powered by quasi-connectivity. And one more change to existing behavior that I personally quite dislike, because I was using behavior before quite frequently, and a lot of my contraptions will be affected. This doesn't power the piston here anymore, which of course, the way it looks like makes a lot of sense, but I have to explain this. This has some historic reasons. So of course, if you power the piston like this and reconnect it, then it doesn't get powered anymore since no redstone dust is pointing into it anymore. This was always the case using a full block. So like this concrete block here. But only if you use a block that can be powered. If you used a slab or a glass block instead, then the redstone line was still powering the piston here in front. And this here has some historic reasons. Because in previous versions of the game, if you would connect the redstone to the side here using a slab, visually this piece of redstone was still pointing forward. So like this, despite connecting to the side as well. And that's why the piston front was also still getting powered. I think the reason that it wasn't pointing to the side was probably because it looks a bit weird, since there's no line here going down the side of the block. Which is still the case, of course. Will it need to be attached to air somehow? That's why it just would look a bit weird. So previously this was pointing straight forward, also visually. And around 1.6 or 1.7 this got changed. So now this piece of redstone visually connects to the left, but internally was still pointing straight forward. And now the new behavior is now also matching, where you can see visually it doesn't get powered anymore despite using a slab here. Personally would have definitely preferred if the visuals of this piece of redstone dust would have been changed again, so it would point into the piston again, but it would still connect to the side. Yeah, probably a matter of taste, but a lot of old contraptions will be affected by this change unless it's getting reverted. So those are the changes to redstone. It was definitely Mojang's intention to make the system a bit more intuitive, so the behavior matches what it can see visually. It's definitely the case now. Definitely I'm gonna miss the old redstone dot, but probably also was changed in order to make it a bit more intuitive, since we only had this little dot here in the middle. Maybe it might have been not clear why a block on the side is getting powered, despite not being directly connected to it with redstone line pixels here. Alright, enough with the redstone. There were also a couple of bug fixes and changes in this snapshot. So the video settings option with the entity rendering distance that was already added last week's snapshot, supposed to work properly now. So we got a couple of polar bears here, and also turned on the hitbox outlining. Fly away a certain distance, they should, not get rendered anymore. If we adjust the slider, they should reappear. Yep, that's definitely the case, and I can fly even further away. Alright, this is working fine now, it seems like. The new chain block can also now be waterlogged. And another old issue was now finally fixed. I ran into this a couple of years ago. If you would stand on top of the build limit at Y256, of course you can't place any blocks above anymore. You would get this message: height limit for building is 256 blocks. But this affected all right-click options. So you couldn't activate the button, you couldn't eat, you would always get the error message. That's no longer the case. Probably even spawn a polar bear now. That's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me also know in the comments what you think about those redstone changes. Which feature do you like and which ones do you dislike? That's it. Bye bye.